Hello, my name is David Lance, and I want to thank you for joining me for this lesson on how to use a learning management system for a group video project. In this particular case, I'm going to be using something called Canvas, although there are plenty of other learning management systems out there, Brightspace, Blackboard, things of that nature. And so as we think about this, whatever kind of learning management system that you're going to be using probably for some sort of school, whether high school or college, you're going to have a way to get to that learning management system. Within Canvas, there is on the left-hand side a variety of things. And then when you see it, you'll see people. And so when you click on people, the information to the right of the screen will appear. It'll list everybody, but then you can put them into groups. And so when I click on the group setup, that's going to allow me to create a group. And so let's say I've already done that. So I've got another screenshot here and I've got team one. Right now, I don't have anybody in the team, and that's fine. I'm not going to add anybody because I don't want to show names and things of that nature. And so once you've created the team, you can go into the team's group page. And so it's very similar to the Canvas page, and I'm sure other learning management systems have a similar setup. In fact, I know several, I use several other ones, and they all work similarly, although you just have to figure out how to navigate them. But again, getting back to the Canvas system, there are various things where you can create individual pages, you can have discussions. I want to focus on files. And so there might be various assignments that the team will have to do as a group. And so they can upload those assignments as a file by clicking the upload button. Now, I prefer that documents be uploaded in Microsoft Word, and I can make the settings such that it will accept them only as what I want, a PDF, a Word document, a PowerPoint, what have you, an MP4 video file, things of that nature. And so one of the other things that I do with my students is I create 3 documents that I give them. The first of the 3 documents is a video project checklist. I teach economics and political science and other courses as well. And so this is designed to go with those sorts of things, where the first week we're going to create teams of 3 to 5 students. We're going to create a team contract, and I'll show you that next. We're also going to create a team log, and I'll show you that as well. Then the students have to decide by week 4 who's going to do what topics in the overall assignment. I have assignments for groups that involve usually 5 or 6 topics that have to be addressed in the presentation. And so they have to also make some decisions about who's going to do some coordination, who's going to be the team lead. Is the team lead going to be the same person every week, or is it going to rotate? They have to make those decisions. I want them to put a credit page in the video so I can tell who did what when they're putting this all together. Also, before the final week, I want them to submit a draft of the script. It doesn't have to be precise. It doesn't have to be accurate. My goal is to make sure that the students are working on it methodically and plugging along so that they don't wait to the last minute to get it all done the night before. Now, this is an example of the team contract. And by the way, I store these documents as a Word document and provide them to the students. And so there's room for the course title, the instructor's name, the course dates, the names of the individuals, and how to get a hold of them. And then I asked the team to think about their goals. Yeah, they all want to get an A, but what else? Are we going to learn how to use technology better? Are we going to learn how to manage groups better and learn how to get things done on time? Those sorts of things. Now, what might be the potential barriers to preventing the achievement of this? And so right now it's April 1st, believe it or not, and we're in the midst of the COVID-19 virus lockdown. So obviously that could present a potential barrier to getting some of this done. What are the ground rules for how we're going to operate as a team? Now, there's a lot of literature out there on what are called self-managed teams. I won't belabor the point on that, but certainly I didn't learn how to do this all by my lonesome. I saw others doing this and using it. In fact, the University of Phoenix is very big on self-directed teams and usually have a team project with every online class. At any rate, so where will we meet? Maybe at someone's house, at the school, online. Let's provide some details on how we're going to do that. Let's think about this ahead of time. When will we meet? How often? We have to decide that. Expectations for behavior during the meeting. We all want to be focused on what we're doing, and we can goof off and have fun later. How will we decide who is the team lead for different weeks? And point five, team member drafts of weekly assignments must be uploaded in the file section of Canvas by a certain point in time. If we're going to have a team leader who has to turn it into the instructor, say on Saturday night, the team lead might want the members of the team to turn stuff in, say by 3 o'clock on Thursday. And so we want to be sure that we do that. And so we have to set up those things and make sure we define exactly what is required. And so we also then have to manage conflict. There might be some. We don't want social loafers. We want to make sure everybody carries their load. And so we're going to define what it means to participate. Participating does not mean that Bob gets to turn in his work at midnight on Saturday night when he should have had it in by Thursday at 3. And so we need to define that. We also need to set up what is the penalty if Bob fails to turn stuff in a timely fashion. Also, if Bob fails to put together his information in a well-documented, well-formatted method, and we want to make sure that Bob did not plagiarize and lifted it totally out without giving citation, things of that nature. And so what's going to happen then is that if there is a conflict that the students are having, they will record that on a team log. I'll show you that in just a moment. And so if there's a conflict between 2 or more members, how are we going to resolve the conflict? I want them to try to do it themselves without going to me, the instructor. If that conflict cannot be resolved, then at the last resort, they'll have to go to the instructor, but they're going to have to be prepared to document exactly what the issue was and what steps were taken in order to deal with it. And then you, the instructor, can get involved. Now, here's an example of the team log. We're going to create this every week after we've got our team up and running. We're going to list the names of the students that participated. We're going to say briefly what the activity was and what each person's responsibility was. And we're going to put an X beside their name to indicate that they participated. Now, if Bob does not follow through, then per our team contract, he will not get an X beside his name. And down here at the bottom, we will indicate what it was that Bob did and why the penalty, let's say 5% off of the grade for that week, is going to be administered by the instructor. I, the instructor, follow what the team says because that's what they put together. Well, very briefly then, that is how I go about getting my students into the learning management system to create a video project so that the students are not up in front of the classroom trying to stumble through making a PowerPoint slide presentation. I ask them to come up with skits, to think of themselves as maybe doing a reporter that is having other reporters that are sharing stories, man on the street sorts of things, presentations. They can grab various things from the internet that relate to what they're doing. All of that designed to teach them how to use technology to communicate to the rest of the world. Well, I thank you for your time. Hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. And until next time, thanks so much.